The vetting process for Graham Platner, or lack thereof, is very important to this story. And if you all learn nothing, no lessons from this, learn this lesson of out-of-state consultants. So what's happening, these out-of-state consultants will fly in to whatever state that hasn't flipped a seat or has a Republican incumbent. They'll fly in, they usually are white, and they're going to go figure out and decide who should be the candidate. They're not from your state. They don't live there. They don't care about your state. As soon as this election's over, they're on the first thing smoking back to DC, New York, or wherever they're from. They're not from these places. And they come here because the goal is, if I can flip this seat, if I can beat out John Cornyn or Susan Collins, if I can beat out these people, I will make a bunch of money and will be set for life, because the top Democratic consultants make millions of dollars. That is the goal. They're not fighting for democracy. And here's the thing too. In 2024, one of our biggest issues in that campaign, the consultants. And it seems as though these folks who perhaps weren't like the in crowd for consultants in 2024, they have decided that the consultants were the issue. And now they're going to basically do the same thing. It looks exactly the same, just with new people. All right. That's what's happening. The consultants that went and found Graham Platner were not from that state. One, I think, is from Pennsylvania. The other one is from New York. They went and found him and decided he was a good candidate. And they made folks in Maine think this guy, this local guy who's an oyster farmer, just decided to run for Senate. No, an outside machine picked him. And they were asked on the Washington Post earlier in June, how did this vetting process go? And they acknowledged it wasn't a good vetting process. They went for the cheaper package and did a 3-day vet on a person who's never held public office before. Here's the benefit when you've got candidates who've been out there for a long time. They are constantly being vetted. There's constantly a story about them, a question about them. That is the benefit of getting somebody that's already kind of been out there running for office, what have you. Their record is really public. They've already been releasing their tax return and things like that. So you don't have these same issues when you ascend to a Senate race out of nowhere. So if there's any lesson here, my God, I hope that people are watching these consultants. It's also what happened in Michigan with McMorrow. People are like, she had this kind of progressive way about her and seemed to speak very plain and call a thing, and then went to this like moderate approach to things. Yeah. Some of the biggest consultants, these like out-of-state ones that come in and get all in your state's business, she was like their first client this cycle. The bench and majority Dems, them. Start paying attention to these consultants. They don't look like the Democratic Party. They rarely are people of color. One of the ones involved with Graham Platner is an Asian woman. Her fiance is her fiance and this other guy are all part of this campaign to push Platner on your ballots. Start asking questions. How these people are ending up on your ballots, and I guarantee you, the people deciding this do not look like America or the party or the state. They're not from your state. And that's kind of the big thing. People who are not from these states are coming in, getting on our business, and picking candidates that they decide are best for us without knowing and understanding these states. That's the biggest issue to me. I'm going to keep talking about it because now we have several examples. I've given y'all the big one at my home state. We have several examples of this.